Hi, my name is Naisin Daishimiye, and this is my OPET video for English 105. This opinion piece focuses on tip inflation or tipflation, and this is the rise in businesses asking for tips in many more places than ever before. This is going to focus on how this is happening all around us and how it has changed the way people feel about making everyday simple purchases. This piece is going to focus on three main ways that we see tipflation. One of the biggest examples of this is happening at self-checkout machines. According to Fox Business Report, stores like airport shops, stadiums, snack stands, and even grocery stores like Walmart with self-checkout machines are now asking for tips at the end of your purchase. So imagine this. You scan your item, you bag your item, you do all the work, and at the end there's a screen like this requesting a 15, 20, or 25% tip. People are being asked to tip a machine. Fox Business called it the latest squeeze on customers, and honestly, that's exactly what it is. And many customers come to be confused because who are they even tipping? Another major example of this is happening at coffee shops. Chains like Starbucks, Dutch Bros, and even Press Coffee locations automatically flip the screen towards you with tip suggestions already on screen. So let's say this, you just ordered a bottled drink or a small pastry, no special preparation, nothing extra, and then suddenly you get options like 18, 20, or 25% with the barista standing there watching you. This creates a pressure, not just because the barista is standing at you or you don't want to tip, but because the screen already has suggestions. The article of Science of Screens explains that digital screens can influence buying choices, and the tip screens are a perfect example of a way to create this pressure, leading customers into tipping when it's not needed. Another major example of this is when you order your food through apps, especially DoorDash. Media investigations revealed that for a time, DoorDash used customer tips to subsidize their own payments that were guaranteed to workers. So this meant that through bonus tips, it was in some cases used to replace the pay that should have been coming from the company. This means the customers' tips were effectively masking the fact that workers were being underpaid. Because of these reasons, using food delivery apps can feel less like a generosity and more like a built-in surcharge disguised as a tip request. This shift that has been happening in delivery apps also has major consequences. It blurs the line between a voluntary tip and a required fee. It pressures customers, many whom might be ordering out of convenience, not luxury, into tipping every single time. It also hides unfair labor practices. Workers paid base wages by the company may still rely on unpredictable customers' tips just to make the ends meet. Some may argue that this is not a real issue and that it's very harmless. However, tipflation is becoming a real problem. First, it takes the responsibilities off of companies who should be paying fair wages and places it onto customers who makes it now their responsibility to give that extra tip. Second, people are experiencing what we call tipping fatigue. Customers feel annoyed, confused, and pressured when every single interaction involves being asked for a tip. According to a Fox article, many Americans feel uncomfortable when being asked to tip in places where tipping never existed or is not needed. So this tipflation is changing how we shop, how we feel shopping in public spaces, and even what we think is fair. Tip inflation matters because it affects mostly everyone. If companies want to improve wages, they should do that directly, not through digital guilt trips. And as customers, we should think about where our money goes and whether tipping makes sense in this situation. A tip should thank you for your service, not something being forced by a touch screen. Thank you for watching my videos, and I hope this encouraged you to think differently about the next time you see a tip screen.